how to create views, how to understand the joins. They are facing some issues. So after some analysis, I came to know that not only DBA course, at least will give 15 to 20% development as well. Then in real time, they will not face issue. I thought like that, and I prepared my course catalog with respect to that one. This training will be 27 days. 27 days, daily 6 to 7 a.m. At the same time, actually, Saturday, Sunday, it will be 6 to 7 o'clock, 6 to 8 o'clock, 2 hours, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 1.5 hours like that. So then only we can able to complete our syllabus on time. Daily, you will get the video recording plus notes. Video recording you cannot able to download. It will be 1 year validity video. Anytime you can watch it. After 1 year, that videos will be recycled. Okay, that means like it will be deleted. Notes you can download and you can keep with you, no problem, anytime. You can keep this one, you can download and you can save it, that notes. I will maintain only one notepad from starting to ending until the end of the session. I'll maintain only one notepad for the main course. And we have some specific concepts like 6 or 7 concepts. For that 6 or 7 concepts, I'll keep it separate actually. Each concept, one notepad. Those are very critical actually. So that's what I'll keep like that. If you miss any session in this batch, so you tell me today I missed the session. Anyway, I'll send you video. You plan to next batch, same session you can attend. That time that is possible. So as part of our training, actually, what are the things I'm going to cover especially? Once this session's done, every day you will get videos, notes every day, day to day actually. End of the session, I'll give you sample resume plus some set of interview questions. Every day I'll tell you in mid of the class, like this question will come as part of certification. This question will come as part of interview. Like that, every day I'll tell you like this only. Okay, then there is no point of specifically giving the certification questions. So whenever you are watching the videos, you go through that once actually. Wherever I'm saying this will comes as part of certification, then you can note it down later like that. So these things will be there. And one more thing for discussion, I'll create WhatsApp group for this one. Every batch I'll create WhatsApp group. Anytime you can ping there in that group. I'll clarify your doubts or whatever it is. Okay, if you are joined in a new company, if you are facing some issue, hey, I'm facing this issue. I have searched in our notepad. Nothing is there in our notepad. Help me like that. You can ping there. Always I'll help. I'll respond to your messages. So later our training catalog actually. Just a minute. Let me show you the catalog, course catalog.
So is there anyone else in the class or only me is there?
You and Ravi is there.
Okay.
Another 2 people is going to join.
Okay.
No problem. Slowly they will come actually. Today first day, right? So like maybe one on one, they will come like this. No problem. I'll continue this one. Okay. I don't want to stop this batch. Yeah. So first thing actually, if you scroll down, see 100% is PostgreSQL certification completion assistance. Second thing, why we need PostgreSQL database, PostgreSQL introduction, history of PostgreSQL database. Coming to database, this is the just like introduction session. Up to this level, just it will be like a 30 minutes to 40 minutes class. It will be like a introduction. After that, directly we are entering into the PostgreSQL architecture. It's a regular session. In architecture, we have 3 layers: general architecture, memory-based architecture, process-based architecture. We will see how the 3 layers of architecture will be handled in PostgreSQL. We'll see this one. Later, what are the PostgreSQL major features and what are the data types in PostgreSQL? That one we'll see. Next, installation types actually. In PostgreSQL, we have 3 types of installations. Source code installation is there, RPM installation is there, run file installation is there. All the 3 types of installations we'll see. Next one, PostgreSQL basic activities as a DBA, cluster initialization, data directory explanation, starting and stopping PostgreSQL cluster services, enabling auto startup for PostgreSQL services, common issues and troubleshooting while installation, and installation lab setup in your own laptop, okay, with Linux operating system, how to install PostgreSQL. These things I'll show you. I'll share the software, I'll share the detailed steps, I'll show you practically here. Next one, in PostgreSQL, as it is a open source and free software, we need a high level security To achieve that one, we have a concept called host-based authentication and access management. These are the high-level security mechanisms in PostgreSQL. We'll see how we will give guarantee to the users. We are providing high-level security from database perspective. That things will cover from here. And one more thing, we have some maintenance activities. That is that operation called vacuum. And one more thing, if any unnecessary space is there, we can recover the disk space. We can update the statistics. There is a concept called transaction ID explanation. That one will see. Whatever the operation you are doing in a database level, each operation database internally it will be it will maintain a counter. 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Each and every operation it will maintain a one counter actually. That one we will call it as a transaction ID. We will see that practically that one as well. Next actually transactions and concurrency control. If two users at a time accessing one table, one user only can able to perform his operation, another user it will show locking, right? How it will be internally handling that kind of things, routine DBA tasks and best practices. And one more thing, the guy, if anyone is doing any operation on the database level, how to track that one. For that, we have a concept called audit log management. Next one, we have a query analysis concept. If anyone is running the query, what query is running, how it is going to perform in our database, these kind of things. Monitoring, who is running query, which query running, how much CPU it is taking, how much IO it is taking, from how long it is running, from which IP address is connected. These kind of details we can able to get it from monitoring and statistics. Database logs actually. PostgreSQL main heart will be the transaction logs. That means which guy performed which operation. So he has done some operation. Can we rewind that one? Can we delete only that guy operations? Can we go bring back our database to some time back? These kind of things we can be able to manage from database logs actually. What are the process running on the operating system, PostgreSQL statistics and views. To know more information about PostgreSQL database, we have a concept called views. We will call those as this one actually, metadata views. Some people will call it as a metadata views. Some people will call it as a dictionary views. Some static functions, hardware configuration, transaction logs, table spaces, partitioning, data import and export, and some tools called PG Badger, PG Pool, PG Admin, PG Bench. These tools we'll see. Next, any DBA. This is the basic thing actually. If you don't know backup and restore strategy, we are not suitable for any DBA position. So that is the reason backup and restore strategy is almost all 25 scenarios I'll explain. Each and every scenario I'll explain. How to take a dump, how to take a whole system backup, how to do the restore, these kind of things actually. For restore also we have two approaches. For backup also we have two approaches. That one we'll see. Next one, physical backup and restore. In database terminology, we have two things. One is logical backup, one is physical backup actually. So we'll see all the logical backup techniques and all the physical backup techniques, both we'll see. Next actually, maintenance activities, PostgreSQL maintenance activities. Keep in mute. PostgreSQL maintenance activities. To keep the database safe, secure, and to perform this one meter.
So, Ram. Hello. Hello.
Hi. Coming. 1 minute.
Yeah. So, in these sessions, we'll discuss about the upgradations of the database like 9.6.
Wait. I'll complete the syllabus. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I thinking like it's completed.
No. So, PostgreSQL maintenance activity actually. To keep the database safe, to get the better performance, like for our bike or car, we will do this one, right? Maintenance activities, right? In the same manner, database also we need to perform some maintenance operations. So PostgreSQL providing these are the maintenance operations. These are, see, as a DBA, if you don't know anything also, they will accept this one, but If you don't know backup and restore strategies, if you don't know maintenance activities, if you don't know upgrade activities, 200% no point of thinking about DBA. No one will believe. Yeah, I have experience means no one will believe. So maintenance activities, vacuum, analyze, vacuum full, vacuum freeze, re-index. These are the maintenance operations. Now, database upgrade. So this is very important. You need to perform major upgrade, database major upgrade, version to version. You need to perform minor upgrade, and not only upgrading. If required, you need to roll back. Sometimes once PostgreSQL 10 to 12 we have upgraded, after some time they are asking you to roll back from 12 to 10 back again actually. So we should be capable to not only doing the upgrade, roll back also we need to capable. So upgrade almost all scenarios we'll see in database upgrade. Other than that, this is the one of the major concept in PostgreSQL technology, advanced concept, replication. There is a concept called replication. For achieving high availability, for supporting disaster recovery, we have a concept called replication in PostgreSQL. At a time, it will maintain 2 copies for your server. If you are the original server, for you, one duplicate copy will be maintained. The duplicate copy maintenance will be in different ways actually. So we have 3 or 4 types of replications actually. So one is warm standby replication, cascading replication, multi-slave replication, logical replication. Almost 5 types of replications are there. After replication, if master server went down, how to promote the secondary server as a master server, these kind of things. Suppose already one server down, if it is again coming up, how to revert it to old state, fail back. So we have a concept called failover and fail back and switch over. Total 3 kinds of things are there. Okay. So these 3 kinds we'll see. And one more thing, PostgreSQL, there is a concept called replication slots are there. That one also we'll see. Okay. These things. And performing failover, switch over, we'll see a lot of conflicts. That conflicts also we'll see. This one almost we will spend. We need to spend almost 4 hours actually, 4 hours. And one more thing, nowadays in market, everyone is looking for auto failover. Suppose, see, your team lead is there. Your team lead, when that guy is the responsible for doing each and every activity. Tomorrow, one major activity scheduled, your client accepted for downtime. 2 hours downtime accepted. Your team lead only can able to do that work. Suddenly, tomorrow, maybe if your team lead get fever, suddenly he is on off. So he took off actually. That time you should not tell to your client, hey, my team lead today took off actually due to fever. So you'll postpone this activity, means they will give left and right, right? So that means there is no high availability. You all people are depending upon your team lead. So what is high availability? Even though your team lead not available, if you are the standby for your team lead, you can able to perform that operation. Okay, that is high availability. Sometimes if you go to bank, they will keep on board, right? Server down, server down. They will say server down. After 5 minutes or 10 minutes, they will say server is up and running. Like that, they will say. They will proceed their operations, right? That concept we will call it as a high availability. Even though 2 minutes, 3 minutes downtime, okay. Within 2 or 3 minutes, you should be provision your services again, actually, as usual, normal. So that things we can able to achieve from this replication and disaster recovery. Suppose, see, that server completely crashed actually. Earlier only down, now crashed, even crashed also. Standby should be promoted as a master and it should be worked as a standalone master. Okay, that kind of things we can, that kind of high availability we can achieve through replication. Now one more concept, that is inheritance and partitioning. So this is very important concept. While accessing any table, if table size is 100 GB, while accessing data, optimizer will scan all 100 GB data. For example, that 100 GB data, if you have divided as a 25 GB, 25 GB, like that 4 partitions. So whenever you need a data, optimizer will scan only the 25 GB data, one of the 25 GB piece actually. It no need to go to the and all the 100 GB space actually. Okay. So that is the performance improvement perspective. We'll go with a partitioning. PostgreSQL, until PostgreSQL 10, we don't have a automatic partitioning. So 10 onwards, automatic partitioning came. So I'll do one thing. Manual partitioning I'll cover, auto partitioning I'll cover, both I'll cover. Okay, so this one PostgreSQL self partitioning and trigger partitioning, all the three things will cover. And one more thing, performance tuning. Literally any interview definitely they will touch this point. Performance tuning, not only operating system level, query level, database level, user level, object level, all 5 levels of tuning they will ask you to speed up their queries. Whatever you want to do, you do, but end of the day they need result. Okay, like that they will focus. Actually that part we will cover in performance tuning. Next one, in everywhere actually we are seeing Oracle to PostgreSQL migration nowadays. Ways of migration, types of migration, tools using for migration, will cover this one. And Oracle to PostgreSQL migration demo I will show you. End of the day I will help you to resume preparation, and assistance to complete the certification also will be there. Okay, so next thing, actually in addition to this one, I have added a few more extra concepts into this one actually. So that is PostgreSQL joins. Actually we have inner join, this one, right? Those kind of things. And one more thing, second concept, data export import, only data, and import using copy command. There is a utility called copy command. This one we'll see. And Datadog monitoring tool we will see extra. And one more thing, PostgreSQL high availability, automatic IC, auto failover setup. Whenever master went down, standby immediately promoted as a master. Server itself will take care. Actually we don't need to do anything. That one will see. And one more thing, actually this one, there is a concept called acid properties. People might heard this one, acid properties. We'll see this acid properties as well: atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability. Example, if you have some knowledge on database side, if 2 people are accessing database at a time, one will be locked. That means one guy is running. Who will take care? Acid properties, consistency is there. Due to that only it will take care. Hey, already table got locked. You can wait for some time until that guy completes his work actually. So those kind of things. Or else sometimes database will be crashed. Whenever you are starting next time, it will start recovering the database and it will come to the normal after some time. So that one also database will take care. Sometimes this one will be there actually. Like a primary key foreign key relationship is there. So if you are doing some operation, if you are inserting data into foreign key table first, it will throw error. It will say, no, you have a primary key table. Go and check in primary key table first. First insert data to primary key table, then come to foreign key table. Like that, it will throw error. So these kind of things actually will be possible through acid properties. To achieve acid, by default, database will follow acid properties. To achieve acid properties, manual approach is there. Transaction isolation levels actually. So this one very important concept. We'll see that one practically. And one more thing, actually, DB link from one database table to see. Normally in PostgreSQL, one database has one table, another database has a one more table. You cannot join these 2 tables PostgreSQL by default. Cross database joining not possible in PostgreSQL. So to achieve that one, we have a concept called DB link. And one more thing, password check extension. There is an extension called password check extension. This password check extension, suppose whenever you are resetting the password for user, in that case, if you are giving a weak password, it will not allow. Always it will look for a strong password. And one more thing, pg_stat_statements. This is also one of the extension. Track whatever the query you have executed, how much time it took for execution, these kind of things actually. And one more thing, whether it is generating any temp files, whether it is generating huge number of transaction logs, these things you can able to check from pg_stat statements. This one also we'll see. And one more thing, row level security. There is a concept called row level security. Anup, I think you have idea on this one. Normally one table has 100 records, one table. Suppose If Ravi doing select star from EM, the table name, Ravi can able to see 70 records. If Anup is doing select star from table name, he is only able to see 50 records. If Rambabu is doing select operation, Rambabu able to see all the 100 records. Any guess what might be the reason, Anup?
Yeah, because of the shared, he has put it some conditions. That's why looking.
No. Suppose, for example, employee table is there, 100 records are there. Okay.
Okay.
If Rambabu, user Rambabu doing select star from employee, 100 records displaying. Okay, all 100. Suppose Ravi doing select star from EMP. Select star from EMP, Ravi able to see 70 records. Suppose if Anup doing select star from EMP, he is able to see only 50 records. See, right now I'm not putting any condition, right? All are select star from only, right?
Yes,
Condition, nothing. So this is actually these kind of scenarios we have in real time. For example, if Rambabu is the manager for the company, or else Rambabu is the owner of the table, or Rambabu is the, for example, in one company, Rambabu manager, under Rambabu, Anup, this one Ravi is there, under Ravi, Anup is there. In that case, Rambabu can see Ravi data, Anup data. Now Anup is there, right? Anup can see only Anup data and Ravi data. Anup cannot see, sorry, Ravi can able to see Ravi data, Anup data. Ravi cannot see Ram data. Why? Ram is the manager, right? So see here, Ram can see Ravi data, Anup data. Ravi can see Ravi data and Anup data. But coming to Anup, Anup only can see only Anup data, right? Why? Anup is not manager for anyone. So this kind of hierarchy, to follow the hierarchy, we have a concept called as actually row level security. Okay, in PostgreSQL database technology, row level security is there. We can give the display the data hierarchy wise. Okay, that concept will cover this one, row level security. And one more thing, row level security. Okay, transaction isolation levels. Yeah, and one more thing. Yeah, this one, PostgreSQL setup in AWS RDS. That one also we'll see. And one more thing, pgadmin tool. Yeah, that one I covered internally already. Yeah. So these are the additional things actually we are covering. Okay, other than our syllabus. This is our syllabus sheet. Other than this, we are covering this one extra. Yeah. Now let me know if we are if you need any extra things other than this. This is our course catalog. If you think anything we are missing, tell me. I'll add that one.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You're covering lots of things. So only one thing I just need again, it's confirmations. Like I have to know the AWS also before jump to the DB carrier.
No need actually. AWS very easy, just like a spoon feeding.
Okay.
I will show how to sign up, how to log in, how to create your own database. These things I'll show.
Okay, in the AWS you are talking in the RDS.
RDS, correct.
Okay.
So in RDS, how the configuration file will be there, how we will take the backup, how we will connect the instance if anything is in RDS, right? How we will connect from outside. These things we'll see.
So Ram, DB link is for the connection between one database to another database. Correct. But I want to connect between one server to another server. Is there any way to connect?
Yes. One server database to another server database. Even right now you are one server, I am one server. Server means what actually? Server means it will contain set of databases, right?
It's like a port, single ports.
Yes. So you have a set of databases, I have a set of databases. So for your database and my database, we can join using DB link. It's possible.
You only through the DB links we can do it.
Correct, through DB link only.
Yes. Okay.
Direct not possible.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do one thing. So now I'll jump into the original concept actually. So first thing, this is my habit actually. So even though you people are aware already, but I like a habit actually. I have a habit. I'll cover this one from scratch. So now I'm entering into the database. What is database? Database, actually, as we are going to cover database technology, right? So what is database? I want to tell you. Database means actually it is a storage space or device which is used to manage or maintain only summarized data. Only summarized data. What it is actually? We'll see that one. Summarized data. Summarized data means actually data which will gives proper meaning. By seeing the data itself, you can able to tell, okay, this data related to this one, like that. You can, okay, it will give a proper meaning. It will be useful for proper purpose. Next one, it will be having proper format. That kind of data we will call it as a summarized data. Okay, what is the data other than summarized data? You have a concept called actually raw data. Okay, raw data. This is pure opposite actually. Pure opposite for summarized data. So no proper format. Second thing, actually not useful for any purpose. And one more thing, actually no proper meaning. Okay, no proper meaning. So then we may get a doubt. How come summarized data concept will come actually? So we have a original, actually by default our data will be raw data only. Okay, raw data only. So then how we will get the summarized data? So we have a concept called actually we extract or else extracting summarized data from raw data by applying some filter conditions and mining operations. We will call it as a data mining. Okay, call it as data mining. So data mining, how we will perform this one? Actually, there is a team called ETL team, right? ETL team will perform data mining operations. So what it will do? The name itself there, ETL. So ETL means extraction. Actually, extraction means only by applying filter conditions. Extract only required amount of data from raw data. Next one, okay, from the raw data, by applying filter conditions, you have extracted some data. Suppose raw data 1000 GB, but in the 1000 GB, after applying filter conditions, you came to know that required amount of data is 100 GB or 150 GB. In that case, so by applying filter conditions, you will extract only that data. After that, transformation. Okay, for example, actually I will tell you one thing here. Data mining equal to our land mining. Land mining is there, right? Equal to land mining. How it will be? Land mining also, see, suppose from 1000 kg of soil, they will extract only 50 kg or 100 kg soil. Okay, that is the metal, almost metal, silver or iron, whatever it is, metal. But it will be a stone, right? Metal will be a stone. Actually stone. Directly they cannot sell it, right? So keep it in showroom, or make ready for selling. What they need to do? Any guess? Anup, you are muted seems.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Come again.
to make it ready for selling, what they need to do first?
They need to load it.
Need to change the format. That right? Earlier it is a stone actually, just a stone. Stone they cannot keep it in a showroom, right? They will
Right,
convert
right.
it as a like ornaments, right? Suppose gold metal is there, they will convert it as a silver, this one, bracelet, necklace, bangles, like that, right? So in the same manner here also, whatever the data they have extracted, they cannot load into the target database directly. So changing the format with respect to target database, correct, right? Target database, it should be suitable to target database. So changing the format with respect to target database, we will call it as a transformation. We will call it as a transformation. Okay, transformation. Yep. Now loading, data loading. Okay, once transformation, this one actually we changed the format with respect to the target database. Then loading. So sometimes ETL team will directly load the data. ETL team will directly load data. Load the data. Sometimes ETL team will share data in the format of flat files, sometimes Excel sheets. Then developers will load the data, right? Developers will load the data. Into target database actually. Okay, so for that one we'll see this one actually, how exactly summarize the data. This concept will come actually, raw data, summarize data will come, that concept will come, we'll see now. See here, example, one company is there, that company head office, this one company head office in Delhi. So one branch is in Hyderabad, one branch in Mumbai, one branch in Chennai actually, total 3 branches are there. So what this guy doing actually, this one Bangalore branch, for example, Bangalore branch is there. Bangalore actually is getting huge properties. So that is the reason storing his data, he is keeping Oracle. For example, in Chennai, he is getting normal property, profit actually. So that is the reason he is using SQL Server. Next one, Hyderabad actually. Hyderabad is getting okay, not that much margin. So he's using DB2 actually. Okay. Now his head office in Delhi. For example, that guy head office is in Delhi. Now we want to store this all 3 locations data in a head office, but he cannot store. Why? All are the 3 different databases, right? So for example, as we are going to teach PostgreSQL, I mentioned like a PostgreSQL is the centralized database. So in Delhi has the PostgreSQL. But direct Bangalore Oracle, this data we cannot store directly, right? This data directly we cannot store. So what we will do that one actually, all these 3 kinds of data is there, right? These all 3 data, we have concept called actually, what we will call it actually, raw data, right? This is a raw data. All together, this is a raw data. You remember this point actually. All 3 together, it's a raw data. Here it will becomes like this, raw data. This is raw data. No one can do anything actually. Okay. So no proper format. These 3 different formats, just clumsy. Okay. So then what we have an option called actually. So then only we have ETL operations, right? So that ETL operations will comes as part of here actually. ETL operations. Okay. This one. Here it will come ETL operations. So ETL operations will come here actually. Any idea who will perform the ETL? This one actually, Informatica team, right? ETL team is separate. They will use some tools actually, ETL tools. Tools called actually Informatica Power Center, right? Informatica Power Center. Some people will use actually Talent also they are using. Okay, and some people a lot of tools are there actually. Main thing is Informatica Power Center. So they will perform 3 operations in this. One is actually extraction, transform. This one is the extraction. This one is the transformation. Next part is the data loading actually. These are the 3 operations will be performed here actually in the ETL part. Extraction, this one transformation, this one actually loading. Okay, loading. Here loading, I told you, right? Sometimes they will directly load, sometimes flat files will share to developer. So then how it will happen actually, your data will be loaded right from here to your target database outside, target database actually. Okay, your data will be loaded to here actually. Okay, this is the part actually. Okay, sometimes ETL will do, sometimes data developer team only will do that one. So here one thing is there actually. So okay, end of the day my summarized data is ready, but why we need to choose PostgreSQL? In present market, almost we have 30 plus database technologies. Okay, 30 plus database of technologies are there. First one we know Oracle. Second one MS SQL. Third one MySQL. Fourth one PostgreSQL. Fifth one MariaDB. Sixth one actually Teradata. Seventh one MongoDB. Eighth one actually DB2. Ninth one Greenplum. 10th one Cassandra. 11th one is actually this one, Redis is there. MSQL is there. CockroachDB is there. Okay, like that actually, not only one, lot of things are there. Now my question is, we have 30 plus technologies. Why we need to choose PostgreSQL? Correct, right? Why we need to go with PostgreSQL? That is my question. Not only my question, everyone is expecting same answer actually. We have this many technologies. Why we need to go for a PostgreSQL? First reason is actually cost. Each and every database charges are very high. That is the main reason. Charges are very high. And one more thing actually, stability, lack of stability. See, for example, if you take Oracle or SQL, definitely 1 hour DBS always should be available. We don't know when, what kind of issue will come, we don't know actually. These are the 3 main reasons. One is the cost, second one is the lack of stability. By taking this as advantages, PostgreSQL came into the market and providing below features. See, what are the features it's providing? We'll see. First one, software, completely free. Okay, that is the first thing. Second thing, it will support both OLTP transactions, online transactions, and OLAP transactions. Both it will support. Next one, it will support data in RDBMS format. Okay, relational format actually. Relational format means data will be managed in the format of tables actually. Okay. Fourth one, high level security. Is there. Next one, high availability is achieving. High availability possible. That means one server went down, another server acts as a server. Next one, disaster recovery. It will support disaster recovery as well. That means suddenly that server completely got crashed actually. Another server will act as a master. That possibility is there. Disaster recovery. Seventh one, point in time recovery. Possible. For example, see, I have a concept called every day morning 6 o'clock. I will take a table backup. My database whole server backup. Every day morning 6 o'clock. But one guy actually 7 o'clock he created one table, very big table. 8 o'clock by mistake it has dropped actually. Now he is saying I need that table, but you don't have backup, right? So how to recover that one? So point in time recovery means even though we don't have backup, still we can able to recover. Still we can able to recover. Okay, we can able to recover table. That one we will call it as a point in time recovery. Remember that part. Okay, point in time recovery as a possible. They are saying actually, Rambabu, this is completely free. You are saying software is free. If something went wrong, who will give support actually? Yes. By taking support as advantage, okay, advantage, lot of third parties came into the picture. Third parties came into picture. Okay, who are there? First one actually, OpenSCG. OpenSCG, the Enterprise DB, company name. See, second quadrant, D actually, Cybertech, E, Fujitsu, okay. Lot of things actually, lot of things are PG experts also there, okay. Experts also there. Equana also there. Equana also giving support nowadays. Equana, okay. So one more MIGOps is there. Lot of things are there. These are the guys actually. As PostgreSQL don't have its own support, these guys are by taking as advantage. They are giving the support with a very minimal charges. Now one more guy came actually. No, Rambabu, my product is banking product, completely banking product. My client will not accept if there is no certification for the product. For product actually, certification is mandatory. And one more thing, someone should be there to take the responsibility. If something went wrong, they can come, okay, this is my product fault. I am the responsible for this one. Like someone should be there to take this as actually. So by taking this as advantage, EDB Postgres, Enterprise DB Postgres, okay, came into market. They will provide software plus software and services. It is a licensed one. It is a licensed one actually, okay, licensed product. But it is 18 times cheaper than Oracle. Okay, cheaper than Oracle. So that is up to you whether you will go with the open source or whether you will go with this one. That is up to you actually. So this is the reason actually most of the people are using PostgreSQL. But again, one more problem came into the picture actually. Some people are asking, here, Rambabu, is there any difference between open source and EDB? So this one actually, software code prospective, there is no difference between open source Postgres and open source and EDB, okay, and EDB. There is an agreement between open source team and EDB teams, okay, EDB team not authorized to, here actually, see, EDB team not authorized to make any changes. EDB team not authorized to make any changes to open source software, okay, open source software. EDB team just like a marketing, okay, just like a marketing team, okay. Whatever the product open source is making ready, EDB team need to shell and they will give a support. So then you may get a doubt, what is the benefit open source will get actually? So EDB team will do funding to open source team to optimize the features, to change the code, to update the software, these kind of things actually, okay. EDB team will help that manner. So tomorrow we'll see that one actually, how PostgreSQL, see, people are searching, they got the PostgreSQL product, okay, but coming one technology into the market, not that much easy actually, like our vaccination. vaccination, all 3 clinical trials completed, then only it will allow, they will allow to market, right? Here also same thing actually. For database also, it should satisfy all the ANSI standards, American National Standard Institute. Actually, there is the one thing. So they have SQL standards. Our database should satisfy all the standards. Okay. So we'll see tomorrow history of PostgreSQL. History of PostgreSQL, how PostgreSQL came into the market. Okay. So what are the things they have done? These things we'll see tomorrow. Yeah. For today, if you have any questions, you can ask me, Anup.
So in the Postgres, it's supporting the JSON's format. Is there any another RDBMS product is there that is supporting the JSON's format?
Oracle JSON support, right? Oracle will support JSON.
Okay, Oracle supports JSONs.
Yes.
Like, is there any data type for the JSONs in the Oracle?
I think direct JSON only, like PostgreSQL only. JSON only.
Okay.
But thing is actually PostgreSQL, JSON and H-store is there, right? Both we need to
Yeah.
create extension, right? JSON and H-store. Yeah. I worked on that too. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
Ravi, any question, Ravi?
No, Ram. No questions.
Yeah. Okay. With this demo done, actually, tomorrow onwards, we'll jump into the original class. Okay. Yeah. If you have any questions, ping me. I'll clarify. I'll call and I'll clarify. Yeah. Tomorrow we'll meet at same time, 6 o'clock. Yeah. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.